Good morning. My name is Paul Del Priore, and I will be showing a collaborative tool called Debate Graph. So I found this graph, this program on page 125 in the book, and I love to do debates in class, and I thought, cool, this is a neat tool that I can use to try an online debate. It could take down the level of anxiety for students participating in a whole group. This way we can do it um, online. So I took a look at this, and it's an incredibly in-depth program. And it has these arrows and connectors that it goes through. And then you'll see on the right-hand side, there's all this information. So, upon examining this, this is located at debategraph.org. If you were to Google that, it's free as far as I can tell. It provides all sorts of services. And in fact, if I click on ways to use the debate graph, there's all sorts of ways to use it, to use, and including, of course, education. And there's all sorts of things you can do. And I'll talk more about synchronous and asynchronous instruction. But it talks about teaching, collaborative learning. And what's cool about it is on the side here, it has all sorts of information about teachers that have used it. And it's called Debate Graph, but it's really more than just debating. If I can show you a featured map, as you can see here, there's this whole thing about the planet under stress, and all this information about what's going on. And then there's more info on the side. And then going back to the actual menu, there's all sorts of information. And if you go to visualizing debates, it'll say colors and arrows. What are these colors and arrows? And that's really important. So if you look here on the right hand side, you will see that there's an issue. So let's say climate change and a position. Let's say climate change is happening or it's not. And then they're all color coded. So their supportive argument would be green, opposing argument would be red. And then as you get more in depth, you can use all these other colors to make different connections and so on throughout. So there's all of that that you can use. So I did create a little example, and if I go to my home map, click on my maps, and I just did this for a simple thing my first debate topic, that Paul's a horrible debater. That would be the stance. And then there's a supporting argument, like he doesn't have a charismatic personality, or the opposing argument, but how can that be? He's a social studies teacher. So that's kind of what you can do. There's all sorts of things, and it's just amazing with the site in its depth and breadth, I guess you can say. This is there is several, but there's all sorts of information, and it's really cool what happens on the side. And then what's really nice is the ability to cite. This is very well researched, and there's all sorts of information that you can see, and that people have posted as well. As far as the synchronous and asynchronous, its features, of course it's asynchronous, since you can post things whenever you want. But I did do some searching here, and I found that under the ways to use the debate graph, there was conference reporting and engagement, and there's all these sort of conferences that people use. It says, why use Twitter when you could use this? And it includes a visual, and there's all sorts of, there's some London Cyber Conference. So at this conference, they have all this stuff about, social networking and what is cyberspace. It's just sort of endless, this site. And so it's really cool in that way. This is actually specified as a tool that would demonstrate mastery. So it's on page 125 under peer-led activities is where I found it, and the book states that panel discussion and debates or other peer-led activities that replicate more authentic learning situations. Discussion boards are effective for these types of activities as well, but if you feel adventurous, you may try debate graph, and this certainly is a adventurous endeavor. It's pretty in-depth, and I worry that it may be so in-depth that my students may feel overwhelmed. But you can keep it simple with just, as you saw, my opposing and supporting ideas based on a stance on a topic. And they say debate graph is a collaborative online debate visualization tool. They also say Glogster is good, and I've seen Glogster before. As far as a detailed overview of the tool, I do debates in my class. The one debate I have is on racial profiling, and that would include where I have a small group of 4 students reading articles and then doing a small group structured debate where they actually defend their view, have some open discussion, then they actually switch sides and defend the other side. I think this tool could be used in the same way, and this would actually be a nice tool to use because it would make it more visual. And I do have them cite their articles, and on the right hand side they could actually cite their articles as well. So that's a cool thing to do. There's all sorts of views and other things, but that's basically the ins and outs of this program at a glance, and I hope you enjoyed my discussion, and have a nice day.